Hello, my name is Chris Taylor. This is a Blue Shell review. Joining me is the maniacal Alex McMullen.
Hi guys, you sexy people.
And the monotone Matt Chapman.
Yeah, hello, sexy. Yeah, whatever.
I haven't really played much at the minute because I've been working, but I have been doing a bit of research while I've been on my break at work for most anticipated games of 2019.
Ooh.
For example, Days Gone. It's a really story-based game about a biker gang and lots of zombies chasing them, hordes of zombies. It looks
hordes.
Yeah.
Hordes.
But it's more, the hordes are more like,
Loads of people, surely.
no, what's that? Yeah, it's weird. So what's the film that Brad Pitt was in? Zombie?
World War Z.
World War Z. So all those hordes of zombies climbing up the wall, all gathering together and literally climbing over each other. It's that sort of...
So like a hive
speed
mind type.
Yeah, sort of speed, pace, like 28 days later.
It doesn't. I was going to say it doesn't sound very different to The Last of Us, but if it has got this element of franticness to it,
Yeah, I mean...
then it probably is going to be a bit different at least, because that's one thing that I remember about The Last of Us, and dare I say it, that was one of Chris's criticisms of The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Because it is incredibly slow paced. I mean, that's not necessarily knocking the game.
So it was very slow moving, and I found that it was one of these that, you know, each environment was very similar to the last.
Well, they're all in the same city, aren't they? So at the end of they're working their way through the city out to the coast. No, at the very beginning. They're
in the same city at the beginning. They moved to several different cities.
You've played this game like 7 times.
Right, if you let me finish what I'm saying for once. Right. So they're going through the city, and a large majority of it is dealing with the fireflies within that city. And then they go out and branch out. So you've got your wooded area, you've got near the sea, you've got more cities, which do change because you've got your suburban little towns, you've got your big built-up.
No, I get all that. But obviously
they do go to the cities.
Yeah, like Pittsburgh.
Of course you do. But what I'm saying is there is a lot of variety, but it's very story driven, and that's why I love that.
I get there was variety. I mean, like you're on about a suburban area, they go into a school, and then later on they go into a university, and it's like it's very similar environments.
How far did you actually get on it?
I got as far as the university, which I've been told is near the end.
So going on to the next one, Last of Us 2. Obviously, Chris isn't looking forward to it, but I'm sure a lot of people out there will be. Probably everybody but Chris.
Probably.
But that looks really good. Ellie is apparently hell-bent on revenge, and if the story is anything as good or as the first one, then hopefully the second one's going to be just as good.
Spoiler alert for what Alex just said.
If the story's going to be as good as the first one, hopefully the second one's going to be just as good.
Yeah. Going back onto Fallout 76. So I've been reading up a bit on this, and apparently it's purely online. Well, I've read on it, you can play single player. You go onto PvP servers. You can also, at some point, they're going to create sole servers for you and your friends to either, I don't know whether you purchase it or you can actually, there's an option to actually create them. There's a thing in there, so if you come across a player, another human, so that basically all humans are players.
Yeah.
So there's no other humans in there that are NPCs. They're all players.
So no characters as such.
I'm already confused. I mean, I'm not a player of the Fallout games anyway. But but just to say, if everyone in the game, if everyone that you encounter is another player, how does that lend itself to a story?
Well, you've got things like mutants that talk.
I'm saying he never said everything in the game was a human player.
Yeah.
He said no other humans.
No, but
you've got
mutants. You've got like say machines.
You've got the ghouls.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of creatures that do have dialogue. If you actually come across another player and they shoot you, you take minimum damage. But if you actually turn around and decide to start beating the crap out of each other, then you actually turn it into a duel and you start taking full force off each other until one of you is dead.
Yeah, but where do you draw the line on minimal damage?
Minimum damage is like a point. So, for example, you've got.
So if they just keep popping away at you and you're not interacting.
Right, yeah. So getting onto that bit. So if you die, that player then becomes a murderer and comes up as a big red star on everybody's map, and then people can act as bounty hunters. So they kill that guy, they get XP.
Yeah.
They get rewards. So it encourages people to not actually ruin everybody else's game, because you're going to get people like that.
No, it's a good idea.
So there's a few games that are anticipated in the near future that we're looking forward to.
Yep. Guess the sound?
We can do Guess the Sound.
Guess the sound. Guess the sound. Okay, this is Guess the Sound. This is the competition where one of us will play sounds from a computer game from any era, and the other two have to guess what computer game the sound is from. Right, so here we go then with sound number 1.
Oh. Now,
I've got something like this one now in my head. But,
no.
Is it from Monkey Island?
No.
Sam and Max.
Simon the Sorcerer?
No. Sam and Max?
Yeah, no, Sam and what's his name?
Flip. Sam and Flip.
Yeah, Peanut. Play it again.
Okay, sound number 1 then.
I don't even know. I think I know that. I will get it. I might need to use Google. Go on then.
What's this sound? Okay, one more time then.
It's when you miss on Tekken Bowl.
Yes!
Yes.
Okay, so Matt's 1-0 up. And sound number 2.
Last of Us.
Yeah.
I didn't actually own that
Clicker.
game. No, I'm joking.
A clicker.
It's in a glass.
It is a clicker, yeah. Well done.
It's actually in the glass case in my living room.
Yeah. With this, the rope around it that says nobody touch.
Yeah.
Right, so 1-0 all. Ready for sound number 3.
Seriously?
No.
Do you want it again?
Yeah.
I'm nowhere near with that.
You ready for this?
Not a clue. That's not ringing any bells.
Oh.
Big game.
I'm going to do what he does then. Grand Theft Auto.
No.
Skyrim.
No.
It's Fallout.
that's me.
Yes.
It's the VATS on Fallout.
It is Fallout.
Never in a million years.
So Alex is 2-1 up. Sound number 4.
Cannon fodder.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yes, that was cannon fodder, and you are now drawing. These
I was-
always come to a
Well,
draw.
the thing was, I actually just gone back then. Like
To
20 years.
1992.
I'd gone back 20 years and I was actually there with my mouse on my Amiga 1200. And then he said the answer and it brought me back.
Yeah, so that was cannon fodder. That was sound number 4. We're now 2-2 draw, going down to the sound number 5. You ready for this?
What? Oh, it was Cartman jumping out of the plane on Chef's Love Shack.
Yes. It was 3-2 to Matt. Matt wins the game. So, what I want to talk about is recently I've just bought a Nintendo Switch. Yeah. So they've got a couple of games on this that I really enjoyed. The first of which is Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
This is a sort of open world, sort of similar to sort of Skyrim. That sort
So
of
it's
open
not
world.
2D.
No, it's not. It's not 2D. It's not like the old
That's how I'm used to Zelda.
Link to the Past. Well, I am myself really, because the last Zelda game I played was A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo. So it's a lot different. He talks for a start, which I thought was strange.
And what was his voice like?
Just like a normal. It's more of a generic sort of voice sound. It's not anything special. It's not like he's gonna wake up and go, "Hi, everybody." You know, it's not. It's obviously going to be like a normal sounding voice.
Is there a lot of voice acting? This is something I have played it, right? But this is something that I just do not know. Is there much of a story and lots of voice acting in the game or not?
So you obviously didn't get very far in the game then?
No,
Or was it a case of switching it on, switching it off?
The game itself was really nice. I really enjoyed it. There's loads you can do. You can even climb trees and pick apples and things like that.
I could see me getting into
Yeah,
it.
it was really. But the one thing I did struggle with is the controls. It's really difficult to control when you're so used to a PlayStation, because like you have your sort of your diamond shape on when it comes to your buttons on any controller, whether it be Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo. They all have that diamond shape of buttons. Well, usually the bottom of that diamond shape, the X button for the PlayStation, is usually your action button.
Yeah.
That's not the case on the Nintendo. On the Nintendo, it's your sort of your circle button.
What are the graphics like?
So it's really pretty game. There's loads you can sort of see and do, and I quite enjoyed it. The other great game I've been playing is Super Mario Odyssey, which is a very different game to Zelda. Graphically, it's very similar. It's got cartoonic, sort of typical Mario style.
Yeah, something which I'll probably say that Nintendo has always done the best.
But it really is like your generic Mario game. You can see where they've updated, like partly graphically, and there's a lot more you can sort of do on it.
So is it side scrolled or what?
It's not really changed its formula since Super Mario 64, where you were jumping in the pictures and there was so much you could do in that particular area, and then you jump out of the picture, go to another picture. It's the same sort of thing. It's just this time you're travelling from world to world in a big giant boat. The only difference is this time that he's got a magic hat that he can sort of take over other creatures with, and like even down to like a dinosaur. You have the hat can then take over this creature to do different puzzles. And
what happened to his old hat?
His old hat got stamped on by Bowser.
But that's like Mario's hat, and it's like iconic.
Yeah, well, this thing turns into Mario's hat.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
Bowser stamped on it.
No, this ghost thing turns into Mario's hat.
But
the whole thing is all about hats.
Yeah, but
So it's not that his hat always.
So it's not
did
Mario's
this, but we
hat?
just didn't know.
No,
but it's not Mario's hat, is it? Because it's a different hat. If it's Mario's hat, then it'd be the same hat.
No, let it go. It's a different hat. This hat's even called Cappy.
But it's not Mario's hat then.
No, it's not Mario's hat. It's someone's helping Mario out. It's Mario's cap, yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, it's not.
It's not. No, it's not. It's somebody that's helping Mario out who can turn into his hat to become.
It's not his hat.
No, all right. It becomes a hat that he can wear.
Right. So, fat.
Who's fat?
You're fat.
There's no need for that.
But we're on about
Just three friends here. What's that all about?
That's how you start all your conversations.
Friends should be honest with each other. Right. Fact.
You mean a little-known gaming fact?
That's the one.
Right, let's do the theme tune then.
Little known gaming facts. Ooh. Little known gaming facts. Ooh. Little known gaming facts. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. So, facts for you. I'm going to put it out to you now. What do you think, over all the generations of console, all the games in all the world, is the most expensive game ever made?
Oh.
Grand Theft Auto, something or other.
Which one?
The third one.
The first one.
The first one?
What?
No, I'm joking. The fifth one. Right.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so the most expensive video game goes to Grand Theft Auto 5. It came out in 2013.
It's still going now.
So, $137 million to make.
Yeah.
Right? An additional $128 million for its marketing.
What warranted 128 million to make the game? Well, like you say, even to market the game.
Okay, right. Here's another one. Who's number 2? This one.
I've played this game before.
You have
Who's number 2?
Right, okay, you do know this game. I'll give you that. The second spot is acquired by Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Although developed cost $50 million, which is
A bit more reasonable, isn't it?
bit more reasonable.
Well, I don't think I'd ever pay 50 million to make a game.
They actually spent $200 million on alone on marketing and advertising.
Gee, I mean, how do you spend 200 million just on marketing?
So,
What warrants that? I mean, how much did it take to make a poster?
You know these days.
Yeah, these days they ain't gonna make a poster. They can just draw it on the computer and send it out. They ain't gonna use paper. Well, there you go. Alex's little-known gaming fact.
I've been messing around, trying to see what kind of games I can play. I've had a little bit of luck with playing some older games, and I've gone a bit
How
mental.
old?
Just well, it's actually a bit of a variation because what I've done is I've switched on the Wii U for the first time in about a year, and I've gone back on the
Wii U. Oh, that's so last year.
Yeah, I know. It's what they call the virtual console, which is like their version of being able to download retro games from the Super Nintendo and the NES and that kind of thing. First of all, there's a lot of happy memories there from playing some of these old games.
Oh, games such as what?
Donkey Kong Country.
Amazing game.
I mean, seriously, you can't imagine how much I played that growing up. I must have sat and completed that game about 20 times. The Mario World, the first big game that came out on the Super Nintendo Mario-wise was Mario World.
Yeah.
And that is currently sort of recognised as one of the best Mario games.
Well, it was game changing, wasn't it? It was revolutionary.
Pardon the pun.
Yeah, well, yeah. It was revolutionary. A lot of games sort of modelled itself on it.
But it was really good stuff.
Well, like you say, like things like Donkey Kong Country are all based off that general design.
Yeah, because it started as playing whatever I got downloaded on the Wii U. So it was games like F-Zero.
Sub-Zero in Alex's case.
Yeah, Sub-Zero. Mario World, as I said. The 3 Donkey Kong Country games.
Earthworm Jim?
No.
Super Metroid is a great game.
Yeah, I've got Super Metroid on there. I haven't actually played that though because I know full well that if I go back to that, it's going to load my sort of previous save point, and I'm not going to know what the hell was going on.
You can just start again.
Yeah,
right?
But again, it's
you're not locked in a game that you can't get out of.
They're as bad as each other because if I load up my previous save, I'm not going to have any idea what was going on. Whereas if I start from the beginning. That was a long game.
I guess it was a big game for its time, but you look at something like Skyrim, which I have restarted again and again and again, and that is a massive game.
You could probably do it in a couple of hours.
This is a point I was going to raise because game length is something that the expectations of game length have changed ridiculously, haven't they?
That goes for a lot of things.
You think of like Donkey Kong Country. I remember as a friend whose house I used to go around, and we used to sit there playing Donkey Kong Country. Now we must have got to, I don't know, like the 4th world on that game or something, and we felt like we'd had an adventure. We were like, oh wow, look how far we got. Probably took about an hour. Now an hour on modern games, you haven't even scratched the surface, have you? You've barely got past the tutorial.
That's all Alex plays.
Oh yeah, no,
he only plays the tutorials.
Yeah,
he thinks completing a tutorial is completing the game.
You said that you'd finish Watch Dogs 2. Now, did you mean you just finished the tutorial? Because you surely didn't finish a game.
Watch Dogs 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, it's not that long. It's only probably you could probably do it in about 8 hours.
You sure?
Yeah, but you don't play 8 hours of games. You play 5 minutes of games.
I like to play the storyline.
When it comes up and says mission complete, it continues after that.
I think that concludes this week's Blue Shell review. So until next time, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good timing because I weed myself.
Lovely.
See ya.
Hi, I'm Chris Taylor from the Blue Shell Review. If you'd like to contact us, well, you can. Just search for us on Facebook, Blue Shell Review. We're on Twitter, @BlueShellReview. And you can email us, blueshellreview@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.